Quite a historic moment here. Not bad. How are you?
How you doing? Good to see you.
Want me to take a picture with your camera?
Yeah,
You can go.
yeah, come on, he's trying to get it off.
Is he gonna go inside, Mike? Or?
Yeah, I believe so. They got a green caravan, Dodger plate. We tried calling them. Yeah. If you find it dead mouse, you know that works. That's when I put the decon in and I found that one.
Not all of them. We'll see you later. Oh, there's someone right there.
Yeah, next time we'll go to
Well, I spoke to her Friday, and she said no, I don't think so. I think they ended up finding across the board.
Probably all of them. I know 3, 5, 4 or 5 is here.
Had to have a little excitement before we officially kick off this this glorious day. My name is Joan McDonald. I am the Commissioner of the New York State Department of Transportation. Before I make a few remarks, I would like to acknowledge the special guests that we have with us here today on this very, very special day. Sue Minter, my colleague, the Deputy Secretary of the Vermont Agency of Transportation, the Crown Point Town Supervisor, Bethany Kosmeter, Lorraine Franklin, oh, she's got her crowd here, Co-Chair and Vermont Chair of the Lake Champlain Bridge Community, Karen Hennessy, Co-Chair and New York Chair of the Lake Champlain Bridge Community, Jonathan McDade, Division Administrator, Federal Highway Administration, New York State, FHWA Vermont Administrator, Matthew Hake, Vermont State Representative, Diane Lanfer, New York State Assemblywoman Teresa Sayward, New York State Senator Betty Little, Congressman Bill Owens, Governor Champlain of the state of Vermont, Lieutenant Governor Duffy of the state of New York, Randy Douglas, Chair of the Essex County Board of Supervisors, Mark Mallett, Flatiron Constructors. A special shout out to the 29ers, the people who are here who also attended the 1929 ribbon cutting for the former bridge. Members of the U.S. Coast Guard, because this bridge serves not only vehicular traffic over the bridge, but our transportation partners in the water. Public Advisory Committee members, including the Town of Mariah Supervisor Tom Scazafava. Ted Brady from the Office of Senator Patrick Leahy. Jeff Munger from the Office of Senator Bernie Sanders. Vermont State Senators Senator Dick Mazza, Senator Harold Giard, and Senator Jane Kitchell. Vermont State Representatives, Representative Willem Jewett Representative Greg Clark, Representative Michael Fisher, Representative Harvey Smith, Representative Clem Bissonnette, and Representative Bill Aswad, and all of the great community members from both Vermont and New York. We are here today, no big surprise, to celebrate the opening of a new bridge over Lake Champlain. When you consider the length of time it would normally take to design and build a beautiful bridge like this, and compare it to what happened here, it is only through the dedication and hard work of Governor Cuomo, our partners in Vermont and in Washington, and all those who worked day and night to build this bridge that we are here today. I want to give particular thanks to Governor Cuomo. Under his leadership, we have demonstrated in the state of New York that government can work efficiently and effectively for the people. Thank you as well to Flatiron constructors and their employees, as well as the builders, designers, steel workers, laborers, inspectors, workers, and all those who worked around the clock on building this bridge. Because of the close cooperation between New York, Vermont, and the United States Department of Transportation, a project that would have taken minimally 8 years was condensed into just over 2 years. This is a strong, well-constructed bridge. It is significantly safer than the previous structure. Its design and construction will ensure at least a 75-year service life of this bridge, and that is so important to the communities in New York and Vermont. Key bridge components are designed to be easily replaceable to reduce maintenance costs. We took great care to respect the historic significance of the sites that surround this bridge. The new bridge was built on the same footprint as the previous structure to minimize historic and environmental impacts on the surrounding area. The land adjacent to the bridge on both sides of the lake is historically sensitive, with Native American, French, and Indian War and Revolutionary War artifacts buried deep along the shores of Lake Champlain. We made sure that the new bridge preserved this history. We built the 8-story, 402-foot-long, 1.8 million pound arch at Velez Marine down the river in Port Henry, because we knew we could build it faster if we constructed it there and floated it here. I want to thank the local community. The public's participation has been both valuable and significant. We thank you for your patience as we work to replace this critical piece of infrastructure. The states of New York and Vermont are dedicated to the safety of our residents, our business people, and our visitors using our bridge and roads. We are dedicated to the growth and revitalization of our economies. The result is here before us, spanning this beautiful and historic lake. I'd like to thank also the employees of New York State DOT who worked tirelessly on this project, Mary Ivy, John Grady, Jim Bonney, Jim Bridges, Jeff Brown, our EIC. It's been a great team effort by both New York State DOT and the Vermont Agency of Transportation. I'd now like to introduce Sue Minter, the Deputy Secretary of the Vermont Agency of Transportation.
Good afternoon and welcome on this wonderful day, this spectacular setting to celebrate this remarkable achievement. There are so many people, organizations, institutions, and local vibrant communities that have been a part of this momentous day and deserve recognition and appreciation but I want to start out by saying thank you to the residents of this community for your patience. As we look out now to this achievement, we feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. However, we also know what a challenging time it has been for so many people. No one would have predicted on October 16th, 2009, that it would be their last time to cross the bridge for such a long period of time. It is a painful memory, and while we have all moved on from the challenge of those early days and months, we do want to recognize the hardship that so many people have endured, just as so many are enduring throughout Vermont and New York as we recover from Hurricane Irene. Today, we want to thank you. Today, your long wait to be reconnected with one another is over. We're here to celebrate today a new beginning and to reunify these two states as one community. This bridge is a critical transportation link. It connects us to our past and it takes us to the future. The bridge was designed to honor our history and yet built with innovation and an eye to the future. Just as the original bridge of 1929 incorporated features that were an advance of that time, this bridge retains its historic integrity, yet incorporates modern materials and design. This bridge is built to last a long, long time. This bridge is built not only for cars, but to accommodate people, either by foot, wheelchair, or bicycle. And it was built in just 2 years, a remarkable achievement. The design brilliance of this bridge is a testament to the consultants from HNTB, and especially their lead engineer, Ted Zoli, who some of us had the great privilege of listening to extol the virtues of this design. The speed with which this project was completed is a testament to NYSDOT, their incredible work, teamwork, and their contractors, Flatiron Construction, and of course the many men and women who constructed this bridge, including through a harsh winter. I have to take a moment to thank my team, our Vermont team at VTrans, many of whom are here, our DMV Commissioner Rob Ide, his deputy Howard Deal, our Director of Program Development, Rich Tatro, who gave countless hours to this, Director of Structures, Mike Hedges, and last but not least, someone who probably needs no introduction here, our Project Director, Danny Landry. This team represents countless hours of hard work and sacrifice on behalf of all of you and with their cohorts at NYSDOT. From the presence of all of you here today, and the intensity of the many community meetings to get to this point, it is clear that transportation is about more than roads and bridges. It's about supporting our economic prosperity, sustaining our history and our heritage. It's about building community, and it's about connecting our states and our people. I'm so happy and honored to be here with you today and our Vermont Governor Peter Shumlin to mark this historic day together and for joining us on a path to our common future. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Bethany Cosmeder, the Crown Point Town Supervisor.
Good afternoon, and thank you. My name is Bethany Cosmeder. I'm the Town Supervisor of Crown Point, and I'd like to welcome all of you to the town of Crown Point. Today's ribbon cutting is a big moment for all of us in Crown Point who have now been 2 years without this bridge. While the ferry service has helped with crossing Lake Champlain, it has been difficult for commuters to judge how long it will take them to get to work, and the bridge's absence has hurt local business. All of us here in Crown Point are thankful that our partners in New York and Vermont and the federal government saw to it that this project was a top priority. The reopening of this bridge will be a major boost to our local economy and will once again link our two states together. I thank Governors Cuomo and Champlain for their leadership and the Departments of Transportation in New York and Vermont for their work to expedite the process. I'd now like to introduce Lorraine Franklin, co-chair and Vermont chair of the Lake Champlain Bridge community.
Good afternoon. I'd first like to express my thanks to Governor Peter Shumlin for offering the opportunity for me to speak on behalf of our community. And by community, when I speak about the united community of Vermont and New York. I do not separate the two. Any of you who live in this area know we don't ever separate the two. We are one community. I'd also like to thank today Rich Couch. He's not with us here today. He was the director of what used to be the crisis program, which advocated for safe roads and bridges in New York. He, 2 years ago, on this coming Thursday, united Vermonters and New Yorkers on a bus trip to rally in Albany, and thus the Lake Champlain Bridge Coalition was born. I'd like to thank Diane Lamfer and Teresa Sayward. They epitomize what it means to serve and represent their communities. They are our guardian angels, and we thank you. I'd like to thank the media for following our story and giving us a face, so we were more than just another voice in the crowd. I'd like to thank LCT, Lake Champlain Transportation, the builders of the ferry system, and the ferry workers. They threw us a lifeline and never let us sink. The roads may have closed through storms, but the ferry never stopped running. Bridge crew worked, I should say, thank you to Flatiron. We can't thank these folks enough. All of these people that worked as subcontractors, laborers, inspectors, engineers, this crew was the top. They worked through hell or high water, and believe me, we had both in the last year and a half, literally, to reopen our corridor. On an incredibly accelerated timeline, they worked under the worst conditions we've ever seen in this region. But they were committed to seeing it through and only missed the target date by a few weeks. That is a miracle, and we are forever grateful to all of you. In 1929, Franklin Delano Roosevelt stood right about here and declared that the opening of the Lake Champlain Bridge was a marriage of two states. May there never be a divorce. Well, we didn't have a divorce, but we've had a 2-year separation. And we've learned a few things in those 2 years, but these are the most important. First, we learned that we had strength that we never thought we had, both on a personal level and as a community. From quiet folks suddenly speaking with confidence publicly or writing to their officials, to commuters sleeping in their vehicles or rowing across the lake so they could keep their jobs, to people stepping up and providing ferry services long after their boats were put away for the winter, to a small group of everyday people rallying in Montpelier and Albany, armed with nothing more than homemade signs and a story to tell, and the many who generously supported the local businesses when they themselves were struggling so that we would not fail. All of this and so much more are testaments to the strength and resiliency of the human and community spirit that thrives here. Second, we learned that people can make a difference in how government works. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people has not perished from the earth, as some would make you believe. It is alive in our region. On October 27, 2009, 11 days after our lifeline was severed, hundreds of people gathered at the Addison Central School in Vermont. That was a defining moment when the community united in one loud voice, demanding that a new bridge be built right where it had been, and that a temporary ferry or bridge be built right next to it, instead of 20 miles away in Shoreham, which is where we were told it was planned to be. The next night, almost 1,000 people echoed that same sentiment at Moriah Central School in New York. The voices were strong and the message was clear. Less than 2 weeks later, it was announced that indeed a new bridge would be built right where the old one stood, and that a temporary free ferry would be in service until it was complete. Then Vermont and New York officials rolled up their sleeves and made history. Working with designers and with the public constantly nipping at their heels, they pushed through the planning and permit process at a speed never heard of before, finding creative solutions to sensitive environmental and historical issues, and allowed the public to ultimately choose the final design. Here we are 2 years later, cutting the ribbon to a bridge that was supposed to take 8 years to complete. Government can respond to the needs of the people, but the people must take the responsibility to make that happen. Thank you to Vermont and New York for listening to our voices and for building this beautiful new bridge in a time when state budgets are so tight. You put aside your plans and moved heaven and earth to respond to our needs. In this country right now, this is almost unheard of. We also learned firsthand that honesty through transparency is essential for government to gain the trust and confidence of the public it serves. Lack of it only fosters animosity and mistrust and hinders forward progress. As a Vermont resident, I thank and I applaud the state of Vermont for adopting, practicing, and promoting a policy of government transparency. Lastly, we learned how to make lemonade out of lemons, and we actually got pretty good at it. Our lemonade is in the form of our grand celebration next May 19th and 20th, when we will celebrate not only the opening of this bridge, but also the opening of our reunited region. We will use this as a marketing tool to showcase to the world all that this incredibly scenic area has to offer. Even though we were postponed, we are taking these latest lemons and turning them into an opportunity to plan a celebration even more grand. And to top it off, the state of Vermont has signed on to help us in whatever way they can, and we thank you for that. We are in the process of trying to create a bi-state bridge park. With the new pedestrian sidewalks and bike-friendly paths of the new bridge as a catalyst, this ad hoc group of individuals from various agencies and the community in both states is seeking to use the bridge to connect and market the rich cultural, historical, and recreational resources on both sides of it. It is hoped that this new park will become a destination and promote new tourism in our area. In closing, we echo FDR's statement 82 years ago that this bridge is indeed a marriage of two states, and may there never be a divorce, and for goodness sake, may there never be another separation. Congratulations to everyone here who worked on this project, and to all of you who have stood behind us. This is our new beginning. And it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce to you my New York cohort and partner in crime through all of this, Karen Hennessy.
Okay, I am Karen Hennessy. I am also part of the Bridge Coalition and co-chair of the Bridge community. I'm also a resident, homeowner, and business owner here in Crown Point. And for most of you who know me, you know I would normally have started the conversation by saying, this is day 752 without a bridge. But instead, I can now proudly say, we have a bridge. And it is surreal. The grand adventure we've been involved in with the last 2 years has been fraught with almost every emotion we know. We will always remember the day the bridge closed, where we were, wondering what the hell we were supposed to do now, and what would happen going forward. In the days following, and especially after the public informational meeting held in Vermont and New York, we soon realized that if we wanted a voice in the decision-making which would ultimately affect our future, we needed to speak up, speak out, and speak often. And so we formed the Lake Champlain Bridge Coalition. We organized a true grassroots movement, we wrote a mission statement, and we decided early on we would not sit along the sidelines. We took full advantage of the social media contacts. We put our story out there for all to see and hear, and we started our journey to reach this point, the opening of the new Lake Champlain Bridge. We witnessed the demolition of the old bridge. We celebrated the opening of the new temporary ferry. 5 o'clock in the morning, cold as all get out, but we had hot coffee and donuts waiting for folks as well. We cheered when the first girder went up, and we rejoiced at the floating of the arch. And now today is the best day ever in the neighborhood. Today our corridor is reunited, our lifeline is reestablished, and we will continue forward. Many folks are responsible for making this event happen and put an end to what some have referred to as an inconvenience for our corridor. I do have a problem, however, with calling this an inconvenience, as it especially was a life-altering situation for so many. I did promise to be brief. Lorraine said everything that we needed to say, since I found out just last night that I was even going to be talking today. And most folks who know me know that once I start talking, I usually don't shut up. But today, we will make it brief. So back to the thank yous. We not only want to thank Governor Cuomo, Governor Shumlin, and Lieutenant Governor Duffy, but I would be remiss to not include the former governors Patterson and Douglas. They helped us start this adventure. To Assistant DOT Commissioner Stan G., who at the time was the acting commissioner, and we sure gave him a hard time. Anybody who attended those meetings, I commend the man for taking it. Our regional DOT officials, Mary Ivy, Jim Bonney, John Grady, who sometimes didn't always see eye to eye. They probably got more emails from us than they do from anybody else, but I'll tell you, they have our respect and our gratitude. Ted Zoli, he's the rock star of bridge designers, and he understood us. Teresa Sayward and Diane Lamford, again, you guys were our guardian angels. Rich, he started us on our journey. And along the way, we discovered we had a corridor poet who also found her voice, Jean Breed. She wrote some of the most great moving poetry about our journey that anyone has ever read. We had corridor angels, those who gave when they also had hard times. Joe, Cindy, Nancy, Darwin, Dana, John, and Marianne. And a couple of these folks have since lost their business, even when they stood out to help others when they needed it. The workers who worked for both the new temporary ferry, same thing. They had some rotten conditions to work in. They worked 24/7, and we sat right up there next to the lighthouse that Sunday before the bridge opened, watching them go back and forth, testing everything, and it was like, yes, we have a ferry. Next to today, that was a great day. But now we have the bridge. And so we're going to take out our to-do list that we put together the first day when we set the coalition on track. First thing we want to do is to get rid of the old bridge, so we can now say, check, that's done. The new temporary ferry was next on the list. Done. Check it off. And now we have the new bridge. Our journey is still continuing, but this has been the ultimate goal. So thank you to everybody who had something to do with getting us this bridge. Now I'd like to introduce Jonathan McDade from the Federal Highway Administration.
Thank you, Karen. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jonathan McDade, and I'm the Division Administrator for the New York Division of the Federal Highway Administration. This new Champlain Bridge will provide the residents of both Vermont and New York with secure passage over a lake and a much-needed long-term improvement to this significant piece of infrastructure. I'm sure we're all pleased with that. A bridge of this size and this magnitude can only be constructed in just about 18 months when all the partners, the transportation agencies, the resource agencies, private industry, and as we've heard here, the work of the community are all truly working together and working together efficiently and effectively. And to you, all of you, our congratulations. Throughout this entire process, those from New York and Vermont, as well as the federal government, came together to make sure this project was completed, and it was completed as soon as possible, so that life could get back to normal for all those who depend on the bridge. And we've just heard from both of the community representatives how important that is to this community. This project also exemplifies the kind of accelerated project delivery that really is a key strategy in our Everyday Counts initiative at Federal Highway, an effort to engage our partners at all levels to bring innovation, technology, and process improvements to deliver the transportation systems that the American public needs and deserves, and to do so in a smarter way, a more quick way, and a more efficient way. And this stands as a great testament to that. I really want to commend the hard work of the contractors and all the workers who worked around the clock and it overcame all kinds of weather and other conditions, incredible conditions they've had to face over these past 2 years to ensure the timely completion of this project. I'm honored to be here today to represent Secretary LaHood, as well as Federal Highway Administrator Victor Mendez, and being here to reopen this new Champlain Bridge. And I want to congratulate Governor Cuomo, Lieutenant Governor Duffy, and Governor Champlain on this great accomplishment. It is a testament to all the hard work. Right now, I'd like to introduce Vermont State Representative Diane Lanford to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. What a beautiful day. We could not have asked for a better opportunity. We've heard from some of my constituents speaking in terms of me being an angel, Teresa and I. I don't have wings, but there are times when I wish I could fly. Thank you for your kind words. I represent the district just across this bridge, and I am very, very pleased to be here today. What you see standing here before, or behind me, and before you, represents a lot more than concrete and steel and iron. It represents what can happen. It represents what is possible when determination meets innovation and is sparked by commitment and cooperation. This bridge represents the spirit of all who believe that your voices matter. This bridge represents the kind of government that responds and does not turn its back and look away. This bridge proudly represents the craftsmanship of hundreds of ironworkers and carpenters and engineers. Relentless determination is what built this bridge. It would not be here today without it. And I am very, very thankful to be a part of this moment in history. There's nothing more satisfying than a job well done. And there are many, many faces in this crowd who have been at every single event and benchmark along the way. And in a few minutes, we're going to cut this ribbon, and we're going to link arms, and we're going to unite this community again, and we're going to walk across this bridge the way we came into this project, united and never letting go of each other. So thank you. I'm happy to be here today, and it is my proud privilege to introduce to you my counterpart, Assemblywoman Teresa Sayward.
Wow, what a day. It's been 2 years, but it really seems longer at times and then shorter at other times when you think about what we've been through. First, I want to thank the Governor Champlain, for being here today, and certainly Lieutenant Governor Duffy. I can't say enough about the response that we have had from Governor Cuomo's office. Our recent flood and hurricane, he's been here, he's had people here on the ground, so I do want to take special thanks to the Governor's office. Everybody said everything that needs to be said. I think I would just simply like to point out the importance of this link. It's more than concrete and steel, as Diane points out, but it is the link that the North Country has to the closest trauma unit. And many ambulances run back and forth across this bridge. And when it was out and there wasn't a ferry, it was 100 miles in order to get around to get people to a place where they could get treatment. It's a place where fire companies run back and forth between Addison, Vermont and Crown Point, and conversely from Crown Point to Addison to help each other. It's farmers who have to cross this bridge to feed their cattle and to get their crops. It's people traveling into New England. It's New Englanders traveling into New York. It really is the economy. The economy that we are so dependent on here in the North Country is tourism. It brings many people into our communities. And the people who live here, close to the bridge, really took the brunt of what happened when this link was gone. They lost businesses, They called me in the middle of the night crying because they had just traveled in cold weather for hours and hours to get to their jobs. This whole community was devastated without this bridge. And so today I offer up my thanks to everybody who helped this happen, and in particular to Karen and Lorraine for the tenacity that they had. You know, they say there's nothing worse than a gnat on your back, and that only would be 2 gnats that you have on your back. And I will say they got things done. So thanks to everybody, the contractors, everybody who put this together. And I just want to congratulate the communities of Addison and Crown Point in the North Country, because today your life begins again. And it's my great pleasure to introduce our great Senator, Betty Little.
Thank you so very, very much. It was just 2 years ago when we stood here and heard the news that the bridge was closing. And in those 2 years, there have been so many people and so much hard work being done. A lot of times we hear the work about teamwork. There were many, many teams that worked together to accomplish what we are seeing today. And certainly those teams would never have been able to do it if it hadn't been for the leadership at the top of the team. I'd like to thank our Governor Cuomo, Lieutenant Governor Duffy, who's here today, the administrations that preceded them, and all of their administration who truly worked so hard. We always got a response. We always got a response when we called about an issue or something that needed to be done. And I think the most important thing was they really got to understand how important this bridge was to these communities. So for all those in the business corridor, for the farmers, for the commuters, for the neighbors on these Lake Champlain communities, they are once again connected. And as was said before, let there never be another separation. This is so critical for all of the people in this area. And what a bridge we have. I don't know that you could have a better bridge. Here we are in the exact same location, the exact same business corridor, with a bridge that's wider, that has bicycle routes, that has walking lanes. It's just a wonderful bridge, and it was selected from several designs by the local people, and truthfully looks so much like the previous bridge. We're really, really fortunate, and we were especially fortunate to have a great designer in Ted Zoli, who grew up in my hometown down the road of Glens Falls, New York. I just want to thank him again. It was wonderful, wonderful responsiveness to the people of this community, and a design that we're all very, very proud of. So to all of our partners in the state level, and certainly the Federal Highway Administration and our congressman who has helped us through this whole process, again, thank you, and it's my honor to introduce our Congressman, Bill Owens.
Good afternoon. I'm certainly delighted to be here. I want to extend my thanks to Governor Champlain, Lieutenant Governor Duffy, and Governor Cuomo for all their hard work in putting this together. I will tell you that as we look at this bridge, when I looked out as I was coming today, I saw the hands of the community, of the state of New York, and the federal government reaching out to one another to bring Vermont and New York back together again. This is important, as many of the speakers have pointed out, because it not only represents commerce, it represents healthcare, it represents a fire department and other safety activities occurring across these communities. These are all very important things, and we can thank our state administrations for their real efforts in getting this done. I also want to thank everyone who worked on this bridge. We were very fortunate to have local labor here working very hard to get this done. People worked hard, they worked effectively, and they worked efficiently. And most of all, Karen, I want to point out that this is day one. This is day one. We're going to count forward from here. Thank you very much, and I'd like to introduce Governor Shumlin, and I'd like to extend my hand to him.
Thank you, Congressman Owens, and it's such an honor to be here with Lieutenant Governor Duffy, with the entire team, the Vermont-New York family, to celebrate this moment. If any of you had a shed of doubt of how we got this done so quickly, so cooperatively, so effectively, I can tell you that until we heard from Federal Highways and the congressman, we heard all from women, and that's why we got this job done so fast. So let's give them a hand. I know the Lieutenant Governor has 2 daughters, I have 2 daughters, and we get it. I want to thank Governor Cuomo, I want to thank Lieutenant Governor, I want to thank our congressional delegation on both sides of the lake, to Senator Schumer and Gillibrand, Senators Leahy and Sanders, Congressman Owen, who you just heard from, and Congressman Peter Welch, on to our transportation agencies who've worked hand in hand to make this happen, most importantly to the local communities that, as you have heard from the comments made today, joined hands and said, we've got a problem to solve, we're going to solve it together. That's the way to get things done as a family, New York, Vermont, in the interests of our citizens, the interests of jobs, the interests of agriculture, and in the interests of healthcare. It all made a huge difference. I just want to say a couple quick things, because we've said everything almost that we can about a bridge. But to the 29ers that are here, and we talked about the comments of President Roosevelt and the extraordinary analogy to marriage. I say the difference in 81, 82 years between then and now is that this is a new diamond on an extraordinarily important marriage. And the good thing about this new diamond is that you can take panels of it, remove them, and replace it. You can take a single cable, remove it, and replace it. This bridge will be here forever because of technology and the good craftsmanship and workmanship of the people who built it. Let's give all of them a hand. Now I can see the traffic's piling up on both sides, and they want us to end the speeches. So I just want to share one little story with you. Shortly after this bridge went down, we had crisis on both sides of the lake. I was the Senate President. I know Senator Mazza was chairing transportation. He's here today, and Senator Kitchell is here with me. Obviously, the team that you've just heard of, we're all concerned. And I went to a meeting. They sent me as Senate President at the time to go up to Addison County. I'm from Windham County at the time. I didn't know where that was. And to come on over and just see what we could do. And we had a meeting organized by the Addison County Chamber of Commerce. And I met there a farmer named Bob Smith. And I bet he's here today. Is he? Anyway, maybe he's cutting corn. But he said to me, you know, we've got fields on that side of the bridge and our farms on this side of the bridge. What are you going to do? We ran into Lisa, who has the No Bridge, almost to become Bridge restaurant across the river. She said, how am I supposed to stay in business? Porter Healthcare, Fletcher Allen, Interlakes Healthcare, all the same challenge. People having babies, people needing surgery, people needing to get somewhere in less than 2.5 hours. And what we all said together is, we have a challenge. We're going to fix it together. We're going to work together hand in hand, cooperatively, to show you how government can get tough things done quickly. And this is the best example of government serving people and getting things done that you'll find anywhere in the nation. So congratulations to all of you. We're proud of you. Let's keep on pushing on. Thank you. I now want to introduce the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of New York, Bob Duffy.
First of all, thank you, Governor Shumlin. I appreciate very much your comments about women. I agree wholeheartedly with that. On behalf of Governor Cuomo, I'm honored to be here today, and Governor Cuomo could not be here. He wanted to be here. This is a great day for the state of New York and a great day for the state of Vermont. And I'm going to start, first of all, I want to recognize the leadership of Governor Shumlin and the state of Vermont for all their help and partnership throughout this process over the last 2 years. I want to thank and recognize my boss, Governor Cuomo, who has done an extraordinary job in New York State. And with his leadership since coming into office 10 months ago has just been outstanding. And one thing that, as I listened to all the speeches today, if you were to turn on the media and the news tonight, and any story on any given day, you hear about what's wrong with government. You hear all the bad things that are going on in this world. And today, we get to celebrate what is right and what is good. Because in 2 years, to replace the bridge that was here before, to put all the work together, to be here where we are today, in literally 2 years' time, is nothing short of a miracle. And that's because you had two great states working together and their teams, Governor Shumlin's and Governor Cuomo's, and before that Governor Patterson's, who worked together seamlessly to pull all the permitting, all the processes together to make this happen. The teamwork was extraordinary. Factor in next the two communities on both sides of this bridge. It is a testament to people getting involved with government. And while I was not in this office 2 years ago, I understand the meetings were very interesting when they took place. There was a lot of emotion, but that emotion and anger turned into action, and turned into great action. And what you did is you organized. You were able to have great elected officials locally and statewide. You pulled people together. You made this happen. And to me, it is like a typical class in government, how things should work. In a time when men and women who work in labor and work in construction are often not appreciated for what they do, behind me is a living, breathing miracle in terms of the talent and skills that we have in the construction trades, in engineering and architecture, both in New York State and Vermont. And for the men and women who worked on this, 500, I guess 500 strong, to the contractors, to everyone who worked on this, this is something that I think will be a legacy for your lives for the rest of your life. Because you'll bring your kids, your grandkids, your neighbors to see this and what you were part of. And this is not just about jobs and working. This is about creating a masterpiece and a piece of art. And that's what this bridge is. And it's been said so many times today, it is a marriage between two great states. I'm a lifelong New Yorker, and there's no more beautiful state in my mind than New York State, but Vermont is a very close second. And if you were to ask my wife, she'd say the same thing. Vermont is beautiful. You have two beautiful states. You have two states that are aligned in so many different ways who pull this together. And in term marriage, relationship, I think is very, very appropriate. But it really symbolizes what can be done when people pull together. And this bridge means so much. It means so much to business, as we heard. It means so much for healthcare, emergencies, for farms. The lives on both sides of this great lake are really connected through this bridge. And so today is a celebration. And again, on behalf of Governor Cuomo, I just want to thank everybody for their role in this. Thank them for all their hard work, perseverance, what they have done. This is a celebration for both New York and Vermont, and one that we're very, very proud to be a part of. And Joe McDonald spoke earlier today, our Department of Transportation. When you look at Vermont, you look at the state of New York, our federal partners from US DOT and Federal Highway, everybody that pulled together to make this a reality is just, to me, it's a great example of what can be done, and this is the way things should be done in the future. So, for serving as a living example, I thank you for that. It is just an opportunity of a lifetime to be here and be part of this. And I was not here, as I said, 2 years ago, but to be here today really is just an outstanding opportunity and an honor and a privilege on my behalf. So, on behalf of the governor, thank you so much, and Governor Shumlin. I'm not sure we're going to walk over or drive across the bridge, but it'll be an honor crossing that bridge. And again, thank you all, and God bless you.
Thank you, Governors Shumlin and Duffy. I'd now like to ask all of the speakers and elected officials to come up while we cut the ribbon. As Lieutenant Governor Duffy said, after we cut the ribbon, they will be in the first two cars to drive over the bridge. Thank you, everybody. I don't know which way we go.
I don't want to drive.
So you couldn't get in the car, huh? It's a big day for me. Take the ferry.
This way.
I didn't know that.
That's kind of like 2 years to get them to take it out, clean it, and then they were going to walk over where the congressman and all the stuff is right there. It's been there like 30 years.
Fall down? I'm taking a picture. Like waving.
I'm happy.
Spits are way up.
Modern LED lights on it now.
Yeah, isn't that nice? It is amazing.
Well, this is a historic moment. I wanted to be one of the first people to cross the bridge on foot.
There you go.
What's up there? It's scary. Climb up there. Yeah, sure. You know.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, as soon as the first car goes over, they stop.
Oh. When they move, you move. I'm almost to the end. Somebody's like a
Where the mobile station used to be by the college?
Yeah.
They took that out of there.
Extending cars.
Yeah.
Ah.
I've
I've been there for so long.
Oh, it's beautiful. You have to come right over to see it. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's good. That touch got just 15 minutes. Just good little one.
First dogs to run over the bridge.
That is so true. I got to actually document this one.
First dogs. They were the first dogs.
First dogs over the bridge.
First dog over the bridge. First dogger over the bridge. First dogger going over.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
This really is quite a day.
Yes. Yeah. Not a lot, but there are some antique cars that they got lined up. Yeah, they got. Well, on the way back, we can do your time.
Beautiful day, but freezing.
I know, but it's gorgeous. What?
That is the third dog over the bridge so far.
Third dog.
Third dog.
Hey, Robbie. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
This is like peanut right over there.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, thanks. All the way up.
Boy, what a treat to walk across that bridge again. Do you know what time they're going to let the first traffic go through here by any chance?
I'm expecting any minute.
Any minute? Okay. I'd like to actually get a picture of some of those antique cars coming across. You have a nice day.
Thanks.
All right? Okay, you're in.
Now we all gotta get home and watch
Back when you had to get escorts across some of the bigger bridges. Well, it's not probably the next half hour we go any direction we want.
Have a nice day, Peter.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hi.
Greetings, Carol.
I'm the bad guy.
You're the first motorcycle across.
I know.
What's your name?
Jeff Jackson.
Good for you.
Thank you. That's what I came down here for, and to see the bridge open.
Yep. Well, you'll be on YouTube tonight.
Thank you. Shelburne, Vermont.
From Sheldon, Vermont?
Shelburne.
Shelburne. Oh, I'm from Burlington.
Okay. All right.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks for putting it on.
Yeah, I will, definitely.
I'll have to have my daughter figure it out for me.
Yeah, it's under BTSPQR on YouTube.
Okay, BTS?
BTSPQR.
Okay.
It's like the Roman SPQR.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
It's all in caps, too.
All right. Watch out, Dick. You'll have somebody running right over you. Yeah. Back to the car.
I had to help him.
Oh my God. Hey, listen.
Good seeing you all.
You too. Keep up the good work. See you. Stay out of trouble.